The GM is just really done with WotC's shit. I just cannot emphasize how done I am. I'm the GM. I'm done. I cannot with them anymore.
The GM isn't you.
The GM is me. I'm done with WotC's shit, so session's canceled. I can't take this emotional abuse anymore. Can I just, before we get into literally anything at all, I just really need to preface. I literally yesterday. No, sorry, I lied. On Monday, was fucking around. We're talking about Sigil VTT. I was fucking around with Sigil. And, I thought to myself, I was like, it's not quite there. It definitely needs some love. It needs some work, but there's some really cool potential here. If they could give this some time and affection, I think it could be something good. And it literally took them 2 days. 2 days to shit on my parade.
Like barely even 48 hours.
Literally, not even 48. Like sub 48 hours, they have already ruined the joy. It is impressive how much Wizards of the Coast fucks up these days.
It's like they're allergic to W's. Like, flat out, could not get one if they wanted to. Because, like,
yeah,
we'll get into it. We're gonna fucking get into it. Because,
we're gonna get there.
Long story short, Sigil has a lot of potential. Sorry that it feels like it's never gonna be finished.
Yeah, I just don't. It's such a okay. There's no other way. I need to just explain the entire saga here because it's just a fucking mess. All right, so we're just gonna get into the thing. Before we get into the thing, hit follow or subscribe for some hot wizard shitting on takes. I guess I don't know. Hit follow or subscribe. That's yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go all the way back on this one because I think it bears breaking the entire story down. All right. Now, Isaiah, you didn't know anything about D&D during 4th edition, right?
No, I knew I was aware of it. I was aware of it as a hobby, just when I never played. But yeah, no, I did not.
Right. Okay. So D&D during 4th edition, one of the things that was like a really big focus was going to be this big online push. Because when 4th edition came out, obviously we had the internet, right? It's not that fucking old. But, the internet wasn't the current internet of today, obviously. No shit, Sherlock. And so the idea of tabletop games interacting with the internet space wasn't a thing so much, right? So a big push with 4th edition, and part of the reason that 4th edition was designed the way it was so it could work really well on a system like D&D Beyond, right? But D&D Beyond didn't exist, but they tried to make their own D&D Beyond, essentially. And I actually I don't remember what it was called, but I did use that 4E website for a little bit and actually did like make monsters and stuff on it. So like they were getting the ball rolling. One of the initiatives for that, for that push, for the push on that edition was to have their own virtual tabletop. Before virtual tabletops were really a thing, like, I don't even know if Roll20 existed, for example. It might have. I honestly don't know. Okay. I was in high school, so it probably existed in some form, but it probably wasn't great. And in a way, they were onto something. They were just ahead of the curve. So 4th edition didn't do very well as an edition, and the online VTT plans and all that shit didn't do very well just in general. Okay. All right. They were a little ahead of their time. That happens. 5th edition rolls around. 5th edition gets rolling. Lots of VTTs start to pop up. And they say, this is our chance. We can do the online thing again rather than, basically fuck ourselves over and put a lot of money into a failed project. We're going to buy up D&D Beyond because they already have the infrastructure, right? And this is all more recent stuff, obviously. There was a lot of time in between. I'm skipping over here, but we're focusing on a specific thing. And, that seemed like a good idea. Now, granted, I'm generally anti-acquisition for the most part, but Wizards of the Coast purchasing D&D Beyond made a lot of sense and was not inherently going to be a bad thing. They seem to have kind of screwed the pooch on that one, but we'll get there. It wasn't inherently a bad idea. It made a lot of sense. And most people thought Wizards owned D&D Beyond anyway. Most people did not realize it was its own entity because it was so tightly knit with D&D already. So the ball gets rolling. They bought D&D Beyond, and Wizards of the Coast says, hey, we're going to make our own virtual tabletop. And it's going to be a fully 3D in Unreal Engine, super fucking sick, immersive 3D tabletop. And then D&D Beyond, the company, said we were working on a virtual tabletop already. So everyone went, oh, okay, so they're going to pick that slack up, right? And then Wizards said, no. The 3D virtual tabletop we're working on is separate from the thing D&D Beyond is doing. At which point everyone, including us, went, well, that's a little silly. Why would you not just use the thing D&D Beyond was already working on, right? A couple more months or however long later, I don't remember the exact timeline here, D&D Beyond says, hey, we have D&D Beyond Maps. It's the virtual tabletop we were working on. We're releasing it in an alpha state. They were very clear it's very unfinished, which it was when it came out, and still is. D&D Beyond Maps is still in beta. And everyone went, oh, so the 3D thing is dead? And Wizards said, no, we're still working on the 3D one. So everyone went, okay, so we're going to have D&D Beyond Maps and Project Sigil, which is what the 3D tabletop has now become named, is Sigil, Project Sigil. Well, it was Project Sigil, now it's just Sigil VTT, which, by the way, as a little cliff note, thank you, Wizards, for not renaming it something stupid, because Project Sigil was a pretty good name, and I'm glad that you stuck with the name Sigil, as opposed to just doing that dumb, like, pulling an Xbox and just having a cool project name and then a really stupid working, like, actual release title.
Project Scorpio.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine if it was just like 3D Wizards Top or some shit?
Yeah. Wizards VTT.
Oh. Or just, like, thank you for calling it Sigil VTT. I like that it kept its interesting name. That was fun. I like that it's tied into the, the lore of D&D. That's fun. So everyone went, okay, so D&D Beyond Maps and Project Sigil are going to exist in simpatico alongside each other. Okay. Fine. And we did a whole episode talking about this because I was so confused when D&D Beyond Maps dropped, because I was like, why are you trying to do both? Well, maybe turns out that the reason they were trying to do both is they didn't have a lot of confidence in Sigil VTT. And Maps was kind of a backup plan, maybe. That might be what the situation here is.
It really could be. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be. I don't know. That's me speculating. I don't have any information on that one. So recently, as in a couple of days ago, I forget exactly what date. Let me see if I can find it really quick. LinkedIn, please help me here. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Okay. So around March 4th or 5th, they released it, I think. Hold on. Let me just double check just for the sake of, okay, nothing is going to give me an answer on that one. Hold on.
We're doing it live.
February 27th? That doesn't sound right. Project Sigil officially launched. Count free. Okay, February 27th is what this article is saying. That sounds a little too early, but maybe that's around the right time zone. So 2 weeks or so, they released Sigil VTT. Okay. Now, the first thing that confused me personally, well, first of all, it dropped and basically everyone went, wait, it's out? What? Who? When did it? What? Because they basically just dropped it out of nowhere.
It did feel just sort of like, hey, by the way, it's out.
It just appeared.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And then, now, you might say, okay, well, Wizards did mention they were going to do a beta, so maybe this is the beta, right? Maybe. Maybe?
Really, jury's out on that one.
The jury's out on that one. And you might say, Josh, what do you mean? That's a ridiculous statement. Is it in beta or is it not in beta? I don't fucking know, because nothing. So D&D Beyond has an article about it, and there's a web page dedicated to it on D&D Beyond. Neither of those things say that it's in beta. The quick start guide, which is a PDF that gives you a brief rundown on how to use Sigil VTT, doesn't say it's in beta. Everybody online keeps saying it's in beta. None of the marketing is saying it's in beta. So I literally don't know who to believe or what it's supposed to be. And it has like system requirements and an FAQ and all that shit. But then at the very bottom of the PDF, that is the quick start guide, it says, thanks for testing Sigil and helping us improve this immersive new D&D experience. You can share your feedback by clicking feedback on the launcher or choosing feedback in the settings menu. Isaiah, did you try to click that button?
I didn't know.
It doesn't, there's no survey. Now, the feedback button brings you to a forum page. The launcher, however, says, take a survey. There is no survey to take. So, I don't know if this is supposed to be the release or the beta.
It seems like they don't know if it's supposed to be the release or beta.
But now we got literally breaking news as of today. Literally today. Now, to preface, I know we don't usually pull the curtain away, but we're recording on March 19th, so this will not be breaking news when we put the episode up, but it is breaking news as of day of recording. Wizards of the Coast shutters Sigil VTT and lays off 30 staff. Wizards of the Coast laid off 30 people from the internally produced Sigil virtual tabletop project on March 18th, not including contract workers, effectively ending active development only a month after the ambitious software's rocky public playtest. So the article's calling it a playtest. And then you're like, wait, what? So it was in public beta and then got shuttered? Yeah, I guess so. And then just a little. Go ahead.
You almost can't write this shit. If we were to write this in a comedy sketch, you'd be like, surely not.
Yeah.
But no, like, this is Isaiah addressing Wizards of the Coast internally. What the fuck are you doing?
What are you up to, dude?
Genuinely, what the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
This was like, I try really hard not to be the shit on Wizards kind of guy. I've called Josh out about it on podcasts, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Why is it every single goddamn fucking time that Wizards does anything that you're like, you know what? Maybe this could be cool. They might be winning me back. You know, they called the Pinkertons on a fucking innocent civilian. Sure, that's evil. And then you're like, oh no, right. Fuck you, Wizards. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. Go fuck yourself.
So, just to add one little cherry on top. So there was a member of the Sigil team, Andy Collins. It says he was the senior game rules specialist. I don't really know what that means in terms of his position on the project, but whatever. So he posted on LinkedIn 2 weeks ago, or a little over 2. I don't think LinkedIn does exact dating on its posts, if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yesterday, we launched our public beta for Sigil. Okay, so he called it a beta. So I think it was intended to be a beta. That's what I'm going with. Seems that way. I've been working on this with this team for 10 months, and the momentum we're showing right now is amazing. Follow the link below to download and try out the new experience, and join our Discord to provide advice on how we can improve and iterate on the coming months. You can jump in and explore with a free D&D Beyond account, experimenting with our basic dungeon builder kit and custom mini-maker. Master tier subscriptions can host multiplayer games and have access to more toys. Okay. Today, approximately 30 talented developers, 90% of the team, were laid off from the Sigil team at Wizards of the Coast, including yours truly. I'm disappointed we didn't get to continue working toward the full experience that we imagined, but happy for the opportunity to work on an intriguing challenge with so many smart, dedicated folks. I wish my former colleagues success in their future endeavors. I'll also be pulling for the crew left behind, who will do their best to keep improving and iterating the experience we shipped last month.
So it's not shuttered. But it is shuttered. But it's not
shuttered. But it is shuttered.
But it is shuttered.
Yeah. They kept enough. It seems to be they kept enough people to. I think I saw an article somewhere else that said they kept enough of a skeleton crew to keep it functioning. But that probably means it's going to not get any more development, and it needs more development.
Like badly.
Yeah, and that's not me saying it's bad. That's me saying it's an early beta. It's an open beta it released in. It needs more dev time. Which, again, if any of the marketing actually said it was an open beta, people would probably understand. But they obfuscated the fact it's a public beta. So to go over the timeline again real quick, Wizards announces they're doing a virtual tabletop. D&D Beyond's released one. Everyone says, oh, this must be the virtual tabletop. And Wizards said, no, we're doing another cooler 3D one. And everyone goes, okay. They advertise the 3D one. They talk about Sigil. They give it to influencers to try out. The buzz is going. People are talking about it. And I think some people were genuinely excited for this.
I was genuinely excited for it.
I was on the fence. I'll admit, I was not super gung-ho. I was on the fence. And they release it, try to pretend like it's maybe not in beta, and then fire the entire team after putting a good amount of money into this. There's no way this was cheap. They hired video game devs specifically for this project because they made it in Unreal 5. So, yeah, that's where we're at now. So Sigil might be dead before it even was born. They aborted it. They aborted the virtual tabletop. They took a coat hanger to it.
Oh my God. You're not wrong, but Jesus Christ.
It didn't even get to release, really. Crazy. So, yeah.
Impressively stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else to add on that whole thing, but
no,
yeah.
I mean, it really is that thing where you're like, I want to believe in
really
my heart of hearts
right now
that Wizards deserves anything other than to be shuttered them damn selves. But yeah, really making that hard, Wizards.
It's hard to root for you when you keep fucking it up.
Magically.
Yeah. So we're still going to talk about it, because I still want to. But the whole discussion is going to be a little colored by the news that dropped. A little hard for it not to be.
Yeah.
Also, when I say breaking news, just again for context, I saw this article 3 hours ago.
Matt literally dropped it in our fucking group Discord, been like, hey, check this shit out.
Yeah. I saw it a little bit before Matt posted it, but yeah. So, breaking news to the breakingest of news. It don't get any fresher than this. So yeah. That is all the context and there may be more news to come. Who knows?
He says he's still fucking with Sigil. At this point, yes. I don't even know, let's say in a magical hypothetical future that they were like, actually, we're bringing the whole crew back. That was an egregious overstep. We kind of panicked. I don't know if I would be like, you know what? Maybe I will give it a shot. I'm just sort of done on Arrival now.
Yeah. Understand. It would be hard. Yeah, it'd be hard to get re-excited at this point.
Yeah.
But now we're going to awkwardly transition to actually talk about at least what we do have currently. So, yeah. So if you want to mess around with, they haven't shut it off completely, so you can still fuck around with it. Hopefully that still stands true in a week. So you can go on, if you have a D&D Beyond account, you go on to D&D Beyond and download Sigil from there. I will say, so the way I would describe Sigil VTT as it is currently is a lot of good potential, but a lot of bumpy bits. It's got a lot of rough around the edges. And right from the get-go, so you download the launcher, and if you have a regular D&D Beyond account, you log in, you're good, right? However, if you're like me or Isaiah, my D&D Beyond account is linked through my Google account. I didn't make it separately for D&D Beyond. And so when I logged into Sigil, I had to log into my D&D Beyond account, link my Google account, and then also make a Wizards of the Coast account, because that is not the same thing as a D&D Beyond account, to actually get the program to, download and install and be able to use it.
So here's the thing.
That's a little annoying.
I didn't have to do any of that.
Why?
I don't know. I just logged in with my fucking...
Maybe they fixed that?
Maybe, yeah. I was wondering if that had to be a glitch. I was going to bring it up because, I have my D&D Beyond account through my Twitch account.
Or your Twitch, yeah, I remember that.
And they just let me run it.
Weird.
So I don't know. Yeah, I
interesting. Okay. Maybe.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So once you have it, you have it installed and anything, and you might say, now it is currently, so the plan was to have this program working on game consoles and iPads, mobile, maybe not phones, but at least tablets. That's now up in the air.
Yeah.
So can't assume that, but so you might say, okay, so right now it's a PC only thing. So you might say, okay, what are the requirements? What kind of computer do I need to have? Not the beefiest computer in the world, but you do need a bit of a boy.
She needs a little girth, yeah.
She needs a little girth. The system requirements are kind of high. Now, so the recommended system requirements, and for anyone who's not a computer person, I'll try to translate in some fashion. So Video card recommendation wise, it recommends an RTX 2080 or an AMD RX 6600 XT. Those are not brand new graphics cards. Those are 2-3 generations old, which is to say,
like 4 years. Not that old.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years, something like that. So not that old. 8 gigabytes of video RAM, which is, or 8 gigabytes of yeah, that's fine. That's normal. The processor, an i5 7300U or an AMD Ryzen 3 3300U. Again, not brand new processors, but not super old. It's a little more lenient. It is definitely, this program is more lenient on your CPU than your GPU for sure. And then 16 gigs of RAM, and it recommends an NVMe SSD. So, like, if you want a price wise, if you were to build that system right now,
looking at like 2,500.
No, not that high. Not even close to that high. No, like a grand. Think? No, like a grand.
Well, because the 2080s are still $700.
No, you can find 2080s for cheaper now.
You can probably find them for cheaper, but like retail, they're still about 700.
Maybe, but even then, those other parts won't be super expensive.
No, I mean the i5 is probably going to run you about $150. Case is going to run you $250.
Hold on, let me see if I can real quick pull up. Yeah, no. So yeah, a 3050 on Best Buy is $250. Yeah, so it's not going to be that much. A 2080 is old enough that you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? I could have swore I looked this up like last week and they were still going for like $700. Yeah, Amazon, you can get a 2080 Super for $299.
Yeah, okay, so 300. So it's probably like just a little under a grand, maybe like 800 for that setup, which is not crazy expensive. I mean, I just spent like over $2,000 on a PC, so I'm not really a good gauge for this kind of thing, but I don't know how, maybe people hear what I'm saying and think I'm crazy. I don't know, but
no, you're good. I mean, I spent $4,500 on mine.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So like, like $800. Let's put it this way. You could definitely go out and get an $800 laptop right now and be good. But that is an $800 laptop. So, it's a little chunky. Now you might say, okay, that's the recommended. What's the minimum? The minimum is a 3rd generation Intel i3 processor, which that's getting pretty old, and a GTX 960 or an AMD R9 3080. Again, that's getting pretty old. So the minimum is not too bad. However, this program doesn't run great. No. I'm gonna be honest. She don't run great. She's got some issues. She got some hitching. And so for context, I use this program on my computer and my girlfriend's computer, both of which are brand new and both of which are over the $2,000 mark. Mine, I think, came out to like 2,500 or so. I forget what hers was. It had a little bit of issues running sometimes, and it crashed. It crashed my girlfriend's computer completely.
Complete, like full on, just shit the bed.
Yeah. So I was using it, and I had YouTube open, and I had my notes open. So I had a couple of things open, and I was bouncing around between tabs, and I don't remember. I went to do something, and the program locked up, and I was like, okay. And I opened the task manager to try and kill it, and it locked out task manager, and then I could not click on anything else. The whole computer locked up. So what? So So I signed out. I didn't have to restart the whole computer. I just signed out, and that got it running again. And when I signed back in, I opened Sigil, and it had an update, and it forced an update. So I think what happened was the update got pushed out, and it tried to force the update while I was using the program, and so it crashed the program, and then the whole computer got locked up.
I could see that.
So, yeah. And frame rate wise, you know, not the best. I don't know. Actually, can I didn't think about this until just now. Let me see if I can actually check. Oh God, now I can't remember. Trying to remember how to bring up the fucking frame rate tracker with the AMD software. Start logging? No, not start logging. What do I want to do? Overlay? There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. Are you not going to give me a frame rate? Sadness. Okay, well, it doesn't want to tell me. It works, but it definitely, like, you get some chug every once in a while, for sure.
Yeah, I'm rocking an i9 2080 Super with 32 gigs of RAM, and even I'm still getting like a shutter every now and again.
My guy, you just combined your CPU and your GPU.
No, I'm saying I have both of those. I have both of those things.
An i9 isn't a generation. i9 is just a grade of CPU.
Yeah, I have an i9 processor. I can't remember what the fuck.
What year? Like what generation? I think you have an 11th gen.
I think I have an 11th gen. Yeah,
which is again not super old. Oh, okay. Now I'm getting okay. So I'm getting like 100 FPS, which is good. But as soon as you start but I'm not really doing or touching anything. I have noticed some hitching and stuff like when I start placing things or like adjusting. I do start to get some weird little bumps. So yeah. So again, she don't work flawlessly. So, you know, buyer beware, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have to buy anything, so that's fine.
Yet. Well, not even yet. Maybe not ever.
well, maybe not ever. I mean, you can buy the D&D Beyond subscription, obviously.
Yes.
So, you know, in terms of the launcher itself, seems fine. The launcher seems to work. It takes a little bit to get. It's weird. Like you click the launcher and it opens up, and then it shows you the sign-in button again. Like you need to log in, but you don't actually need to log in. You just need to give it a minute to load all the way, and then the launcher comes up. It's a little weird, but it does the job. You know, it's got the quick start guide on there. It's got the link to the survey, which doesn't exist yet. It's got the link to the FAQ page. You know. Once you get into the program itself, it really, and I don't know if you had this thought immediately or not. It really feels like a video game.
Yeah. So the first thing I was like, oh, it's like Conan.
Yeah. Like aesthetically and controls, like you could tell this was a video game developers worked on this. Like it feels very video gamey. And what I mean is like the UI and
if you like
aesthetic,
Sims, this is going to be amazing for you.
Yeah, like it has that vibe. Like if you play a game, if you play plenty of PC games, you're gonna feel it, and you can almost, without even anyone saying it, if you've played enough games in the Unreal Engine, you can kind of tell it's an Unreal Engine thing. And I don't really know how to describe what I mean, but you can kind of tell.
It kind of feels like you are on some level fucking around in the Unreal Engine. That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
It does. Yes, it does a little bit. It does. It even has some PC settings. Not great. It has a really basic graphics presets from low to ultra, full screen or windowed, no borderless, and then a depth of field checkbox that you can check on or off. Those are all your settings. So some more settings would be nice. It has quite a lot of nice little aesthetic animations and shit to like the menus and stuff, which is, you know, that's nice. Not particularly important or anything, but you know, it's nice. In terms of, I guess I should mention, in terms of like functionality. So if you have a D&D Beyond account, but you do not pay a subscription, you get access to single player mode, which is, I thought that meant that there was like some sort of like single player adventure you can go through without a GM. There's not. That's not a thing. I don't know why it says single player mode. There is no thing. It says you can join multiplayer rooms. You can play the introductory adventure because it comes with an adventure. You can only save one custom map, if you are a free user, which fucking sucks. You get 35 of your own painted minis, and 50 custom mini slots. I don't even know if I don't think the painting functionality is actually in there yet.
To paint your own mini? Hold on. See.
Unless it just means color picker. I'm not sure what it means by that.
Well, so the color picker definitely is a thing. I made my own little guy while we were setting up, and you can do color picker, but I don't even know how to access the painting feature.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There might be a terminology fuck up there. Because it also says unpainted minis, and it says a free user doesn't get access to unpainted minis, but I don't know what that means. And then 50 custom mini slots and 9 custom mini outfits. Again, not sure what they mean by that. The main restriction is you cannot host multiplayer rooms. So you can't invite anyone to your table as a free user, which sucks ass. You cannot share and load maps. And again, you're limited to one map in the basic package, whereas in master tier, you can have an unlimited amount of maps. Those are the main differences you're looking at.
They really do. It feels like you're getting a little hoed on the free version, frankly. Like
a little, yes. I think the intention of the free version is for it to be used by players and that the GM will pay, basically. Which is kind of how D&D Beyond also rationalizes it, so, you know, I'm not that surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's same kind of system. But yeah, you only get one table to create, and a table in Sigil is kind of like a campaign in Roll20 or Foundry. It's like it is, you know, the main game. They call it a table, but yeah. Once you're into your table, I give them credit. Like clicking around and messing with the program, pretty easy. In terms of just like figuring it out, I did a lot of just clicking and seeing buttons and throwing things around and figured out how it worked pretty fast. Like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes it took me to like get comfortable. It is worth noting that the game / pro this I prefer to call this a program, but Sigil refers to itself as a game in all over the place, which is a little weird. I don't know if you thought that was odd too, but yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence about it. I can see why they would call themselves a game, but yeah, I mean, I would probably still call this a program.
Yeah, program feels, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't call Hero Forge a game, so.
Right, exactly. That's exactly my train of thought. I will say though, so it's clear that this program was designed for people that understand the language of video games. And when I say the language, I mean like you've played video games, you understand how game UIs usually look and where important information is usually kept and what clicking on things does, and like you're comfortable in that ecosystem. This program definitely assumes you've already messed around with those things. Like, it's designed for the gamers, if you will. So if you're, 50-year-old Jim Bob who's been playing since 2nd edition, this might not be as comfortable for you to use, and you might not figure it out as quickly. And if you're not a tech savvy person, I don't know how user-friendly this program is going to be, personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I could see this being, honestly, like, I could see this being like, even if you're sort of versed in the language of games, I feel like unless you play map builder games or something similar, you probably will also struggle a little bit.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. The thing is like, it's hard for me to gauge, like, as someone who plays lots of video games and lots of different kinds of video games, and I have literally messed around with developing in-game engines. It was very quick and comfortable for me, but it's hard for me to say for somebody else. Like, I can't, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I can't speak for other people, but I will say for me personally, it was relatively quick. Take that with a grain of salt is what I'm getting at.
I have a very, very minor gripe.
Uh-huh.
They don't have corner pieces. This is killing me.
Uh-huh.
I'm fucking with this thing right now, and I've made this like little raised dais area, and there is no triangular corner piece.
Yep.
There's a corner inlet piece if you want to merge 2 bits, but on an outward angle, right, on on a roof, right, you have a little bit.
There's no roof. There's no roof stuff.
Yeah, it's killing me right now.
I also noticed that.
My AD or my like OCD is just like, no.
In terms of the UI itself, also, side note, I should have said this before. My notes are a little like all over the place and not in any particular order, because I was kind of just writing them down as I had thoughts. So I'm gonna jump around a lot. The UI does have hotkeys plastered all over the thing, and pretty much everything is clickable. So when you hover over stuff, for example, if you hover over the tape measure tool, it says T, there's a big fucking T, and then it says tape measure, and then it tells you what it does. So the hotkeys are visible, and there's a bunch of camera hotkeys that are permanently at the bottom of the screen. So the hotkeys are all over the place. You can't, miss them. And you can essentially use it similar to anyone who's played MMO. You can be a filthy, disgusting clicker, or you can use hotkeys.
I'm a clicker.
Filthy, disgusting, subhuman clicker over here, or you could use hotkeys.
Okay, so what I will say is, as someone who plays map builder games like Conan Exiles a lot, one personal gripe I have is that it does not describe to you what each piece is.
It doesn't, yeah.
And that might seem irrelevant. You might be like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about? If there are a lot of, this whole game is sort of tile-based. I just called it a game. This whole program is tile-based, right? So you have floor pieces, and there are some floor pieces that are like sort of destroyed, and there are ones that are solid. There are some that are small, some that are large. They don't describe to you what these things are or how to use them. You just sort of have to figure it out, and that's fine, but it does make things a little frustrating. Those destroyed pieces are not actually to have like holes in floors, for example. What those are there for is to create like variation in your tiling. So the starter tiles they give you are they're dungeon tiles. And what those destroyed pieces are for, destroyed pieces of floor are for, is, dungeons are filled with detritus and whatnot, broken bricks and destroyed pieces of detritus. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That's what those are for. You wouldn't really tell unless you could have something describe it to you, or you just figured it out. Describe, tell me.
Yes. It does lack some tool tips on the items themselves. I will say another thing, though, speaking of UI stuff, if you're someone who's used any kind of software like Photoshop, Illustrator, or any kind of like 3D modeling software, it does also definitely have some hearkening to that vibe. So if you're someone who uses those sorts of programs, you may also be, relatively comfortable with it. That being said, I just mentioned Photoshop and 3D modeling software. Control Z isn't undo.
It's not a backspace. Oh my God.
There's no undo functionality.
Bruh.
Literally unplayable. 0 out of 10 IGN. Too much fucking water up my ass. Please, even if the project is shut down, the one thing, please put a Control Z undo functionality. Please.
The amount of times I have destroyed something I was working on and went, I
can't undo it. Yeah, I know.
Hold on, I need to check the hotkeys or the keybinds. There has to be an undo.
There isn't.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There's no undo.
I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah. Literally unacceptable, unplayable, please fix. Yeah. There is so did you find the placing a map on the floor functionality?
No.
Okay, so if you click on
the image board?
Image board, yeah.
Yeah, no idea what that does.
So it puts a little square. Yeah, so it puts a little square on the ground, and you can copy the URL of a picture, like a flat, like a JPEG or a PNG, and copy that URL into the program, and it will then put a flat image into the virtual tabletop space, kind of like you're using it like a Roll20 or a D&D Beyond
it's an
Maps.
image plane for Maya.
Not exactly how I put it, but yes. Let me rephrase. Not how I would explain it to people who have never used 3D modeling software, but yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. So you can actually use this program like a flat VTT if you want, because when you go into it, you can press O, and it will give you a perfectly top-down view. And you can then just put a flat image into the virtual space and move stuff around and effectively use it like a flat virtual tabletop, like a Roll20 or a D&D Beyond Maps or a Foundry or whatever. And there are flat tokens in the program also. So it does have like that extra functionality. And honestly, I think the main point of that functionality is if you don't have time to set up something fully 3D, you could just quickly do a flat plane thing instead, because that'll be a little quicker. Which is good. I like that they thought about that. Especially if you plan on using Sigil as your only VTT solution. Now, granted, given the news we got today, I'm going to say don't do that, probably. But before today, I was saying if you wanted to. Another weird functionality, there's no way, as I said, this is where my notes start to jump around a lot, so I'm sorry. There's no way to resize assets. You cannot resize map assets in any way.
That's kind of what I was talking about with these things need descriptions, because there are... So if you have like a whole wall piece, there is a half wall piece and a quarter wall piece.
Yes.
But they do not describe what those things are.
Some of them are big and some of them are small.
Yeah. That needs to be a thing. It probably won't be, but it needs to be a thing.
Yes, and it needs to be a thing, and you should be able to resize assets. So if I want to take a wall piece and make it way bigger than it's supposed to be, please let me. That's a pretty basic functionality. Not great. Speaking of map assets, So the way the assets are sort of arranged in the program right now is you open up the program, and at the bottom of the screen, in a horizontal scroll bar, which is not great.
No.
There's like little folders. So it says building blocks, terrain, props, and set pieces. Building blocks are like your basic shit. Terrain is terrain stuff. Props will be like tables or beds or treasure chests or piles of gold, props. And then set pieces will be like large, cool looking structures. So like in the free set, there's like a big clock tower or like a big altar thingy. And basically you go into one of the folders and then you get this like horizontal across the bottom of the screen scroll wheel thing. It's okay. It does the job. And because we only have so many assets right now, it's not a big deal. Once your amount of assets starts to drastically increase, this is going to get real clunky.
Yes, sir.
So another thing that would need developing if that was going to happen. We're just going to keep saying that, huh?
It gets more sad every time you have to vocalize it.
Every time you mention it, yeah. There is also like a little drop down. So for the free version, you only get basic dungeon tiles. There is, or should I say basic dungeon assets. There is, for the master tier version, you get, what did they call it? Let me see. Hold on real quick. I got to open the page back up. You got Crude Mines, Graveyard, Owlbear Forest, and Rustic Village. So you do get more assets, and essentially there's a big drop-down menu in the bottom left corner, and you could pick through them. So that's at least somewhat helping with the organization. So, it seems like a lot of what was going on with this, before Wizards burned it to the ground. They had plans, like they had ideas for how they were gonna optimize and make it more organized, but this was just the quickest version they could get out, like right now. Like this is the quick and dirty, but there's things you could see where it's set up in such a way where it's like, oh, you could definitely make this better in the future.
Yeah, you can see the potential for sure.
Yeah. There are various levels of terrain, so you can make like multi-storied like buildings and stuff. I think there's 5 right now.
Yes, sir. Way ahead of you. I'm already on my second floor making a
no more than that. There's never mind. There's 15. Oh, I way undershot that. There is 15 floors that you could potentially have. And as you build each of the floors up, so like it's a little weird to explain. So if you go all the way to the bottom, you get a little infinity symbol, and that will show you the max highest level of everything on the map. Then you can press up to bring yourself to floor 1, and that will show you the base floor of everything, and then floor 2, and then floor 3, etc., etc. So you could have, for example, a dungeon where the players move through, they get to floor 1, they go to the stairs, you move their mini up the stairs, you then jump it to floor 2, you're now in the next layer of the dungeon. Like you could absolutely do that. And in fact, as I said that and thought about it, I thought about how that would be fun. And now I'm a little sad again. Anyway. There is a music player. There is a music player in the program, but you cannot import your own music currently. I don't know if there's ever plans to do that, but yeah. There is some basic music in there if you want. The mini builder was a big selling point, I think, for a lot of people. It exists. It is there. It is very basic. It's very, very basic. It is like early 2000s MMO character creator levels of basic.
I'm so happy that you said that, because I was just about to bring up, I'm like, wow, this really feels very Neverwinter Nights.
Yeah. Yes. It's
Dude,
a really
awesome.
Here's what I'll say. It's a good start, And definitely you can, like, looking at the mini builder, you can see how they can add a shitload more assets and stuff to it, and it will start to be cool. For example, in terms of its basicness, it has human, elf, dwarf, gnome, halfling, orc. That's it. I don't know if that's because I'm a free subscriber or not, why the species are so limited. I'm not sure. And then you have like a body type thing for like your stature, male and female body type. There are preset poses. There's no way to make your own pose yet. That would be cool. There's only 3 face options currently, and skin tone, obviously. You got some hair, you got some beards, and you got like eye color, and that's pretty much it. And then you can slap on like gear pieces, so like body pieces, helmet pieces, shoulders, like all of the basic stuff that you would want is there right now. It's just pretty limited in what it can do. Again, some of that limitation may be because I'm not a subscriber. But even if I was a subscriber, it still seems like it's fairly basic. It's not Hero Forge in the VTT. It is not that.
I was kind of hoping they would just let you import STLs so you could do this with Hero Forge.
I thought about that. I don't know if they would be okay with that or not, because I think one of their main plans for how they were going to monetize this was via mini customization. So I don't know that they would let you do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
Now their main plan to monetize it is to sell it off as assets.
To murder it, yeah.
Hey.
I cry.
You can, because I know this is going to be a lot of important for a lot of people. You can import your D&D Beyond character sheets into this. So you basically what you do is you make a mini, you place the mini, click on said mini, and then there's a drop-down menu at the bottom to let you import character data from your D&D Beyond account, which is linked to this. So that's good. That actually, fun fact. So remember how I said that the update that crashed the game?
Mm-hmm.
The character importer thing wasn't in there. I had the crash in the update, and then the character importer thing was in there.
Oh, wonderful.
So that was one of the things that got added. Oh yeah, this is a weird thing that I had to make note of. So for those who don't know and or give a shit about, game design, like literally making games, I mean, Unreal Engine is well known. Like the big selling point for Unreal Engine, at least these days, back in the day, it was not exactly this, but a big selling point of Unreal is their lighting. The lighting engine in that game engine is good. It's quite powerful, and you can do not a lot of work and get pretty sick results. And by not a lot of work, I mean I have literally taught like 15-year-olds how to fuck around a little bit with Unreal Engine, and they could get some pretty sick results in like a day or two. So yeah, this program doesn't have any kind of dynamic lighting engine, and you don't have any control over it, which is very weird to me. I don't know if you noticed that, Isaiah.
Yeah. I mean, the lighting settings you do have control of are very basic. It's like at afternoon, dungeon, golden hour, interior, night, overcast. That's it. There's no, shifting colors of light. No changing the actual direction like you could with an HDRI. Nothing like that.
Yeah. So you pick these lighting presets, and it adjusts the visual of the lighting, but the lighting isn't. So the lighting is like not 100% lighting accurate. So for example, I made a top floor to a building, and then I was like, okay, if I completely enclose the building, will the room be dark? And the answer is no. So like, if you completely enclose an area so that no light is getting to it, or so like no light should be getting into it, there is still lighting in there. When you go to look at that floor, it will be lit by whatever the general ambient light you chose is. So like, there are shadows and stuff that respect the physical placement of objects in the scene, but it doesn't. You can't manipulate the lighting in any way. So it's not like in Roll20, you can build a map and then set up dynamic lighting walls, and then the lighting will in real time react to your players moving around the map, and they will see different things based on where their tokens and what their sight range is and all that stuff. You can't do any of that in this, which is, again, disappointing because they built this with Unreal Engine 5, and one of the coolest things about Unreal Engine 5 is its lighting engine. So, little sad about that one.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I was thinking, and this is probably just some clever, well, no, this is not bump map work. This isn't normal map shit. This is like a lot of these assets, like the brickwork, you can clearly see that these are stacked assets that have been grouped together. I'm really curious to see what the wireframes of this look like, because if that is the case, that would explain why this is so graphically intensive.
It would, yes.
Like the fact that each individual brick has baked lights. That's a little crazy. Like,
I don't know if it's necessarily in each individual thing or what, but it does seem like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it does seem like there's some relatively high poly assets going on here.
Well, so hold on. I'm not sure if, but like, because I was looking at this. I want to show you this. I to our poor listeners, you're not going to understand a word of what's going on, but like, I saw something really interesting.
Looking at the side of one of the walls and stuff, it looks like it might be a normal map on. There's no way it's 100% modeled, because that would just be unreasonable. I do think there is some normal mapping going on, but I think there is it is still a relatively high poly count.
Hold on. Yeah, because I got a perfect example right here. Look at this. I know this is a little awkward.
Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting.
So if you look here.
I can't see anything.
Oh, are you doing this thing? Hold on.
It says paused.
Oh, all right. That's fair.
Sorry. For listeners saying, Isaiah's trying to show me a screen. Okay, yes, now I see it.
Okay. So if you look right here, these are clipping seams.
So the outer bricks,
like,
yes.
Yeah, so the inside is normal mapping, but like
the inside is normal mapping. Yeah.
These are like that right there. Those are baked lights. Those shadows right there.
Yes. Yeah.
That's really graphically intensive. Especially, look at that. That's a that's baked light. Like, they could have done a little optimization here. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's what I mean. I think part of what's going on here too is this was a rush project. You know?
Yeah. I mean, well, so that our art teacher always made jokes about like, if you throw into like smart materials in any substance painting or texturing program, you can tell. And I'm looking at this wooden plank and I'm like, good old rotted beechwood number 4. I missed you.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, or it might be Unreal materials, like, you know, store off the store type.
Oh,
Unreal
I can see
materials. Because. Yeah, I think what the strategy was supposed to be here is get something nice and functional, put it out as a beta, keep updating and updating and updating and making it better and better. You know, like, let it be like a slow burn, but put a product out for people to play with. I guess we're not committing to that plan.
I mean,
but yeah. You know, and like, yeah, I don't know. Optimization is one of those things that they could have worked on. You know, there's so many ways it could have gone. Anyway, so yeah, the lighting situation is very weird. I don't know what to make of it. It's just like, why would you do it this way? There's not even why would you do it this way. I'm just sad. I'm just sad that you didn't really do something. So again, I was gonna say, my original plan when I got to this point in my notes was to say, hopefully they put in a cool lighting system later. Now my plan is, hopefully it exists, I guess. I don't know. That being said, there is a Fog of War, but it's not great. Have you seen the Fog of War, Isaiah?
I haven't.
You draw a little Fog of War. So
no.
Yeah.
What is that?
So just describe the Fog of War. The way it works is you click the little Fog of War button and you literally draw out like cubes, and it just puts big gray blocks that physically block your vision of the spot. So it's not like, again, in Roll20, the player tokens have certain visual permissions, right? And then they can't see through walls and stuff, but you as the GM can see through things, so you can see through the Fog of War.
I was just about to say, why would you make it so that I as the GM cannot see through my own Fog of War?
In this, you put a big gray block and it just blocks everyone's vision, including yours. So it's basically like if you took a piece of black construction paper and you were playing on a physical table and you just put the construction paper over top of your map in real life. That's basically all that is. So yeah, that one's a little rough. I was a little disappointed when I saw that.
Very fair.
As you might imagine. So yeah, again, dynamic light would have been nice. Oh yes, as Isaiah pointed out before, weird lack of roof assets. And also, more importantly, no bar asset. There's no fucking bar. What the fuck?
So they have ridiculous eating tables and shit in food.
I know.
But there's no like bar top.
No bar. I know. That's what I said. What the fuck? It's D&D. How is there not a bar top? Crazy, dude.
You know, it's sad that you can tell that we are a mixologist and bartender respectively, because we're like, where are my fucking bar assets?
Where's the bar? Why can't I have my bottles? So then I started to take notes on some character sheet stuff. So this is a weird one. So Isaiah, do me a favor real quick and spawn an on keg into your map. Just to iterate my point here. So when you spawn, or a bugbear, either one will actually work. A bugbear mini or an on keg. When you spawn, so you spawn a creature in, and oh by the way, I think Isaiah is also noticing a little thing that annoyed me too. So right click on the on keg and hit reveal.
Oh, that's what the fuck that is? Oh,
yes.
That's annoying.
So every time you place a mini in this program, they start hidden. And you have to reveal them as the GM. They start hidden as in like, you know, you're putting down secret tokens so the players can't see them. Took me a while to figure that one out too. But anyway,
what the shit is the point of Fog of War?
Well, because Fog of War can still be useful to cover other things.
I suppose.
So you when you click on the mini, you get so you have to go out of creative mode, by the way. I don't know if you noticed there's like if you press K, now you're not creative mode. So when you click on the mini, the bottom left will have a little D20 and it'll show like their ability checks and saving throws. If you click on the creature's portrait, it'll have their like quote unquote character sheet. They have a skills list for any kind of skills they might have, like athletics or acrobatics or intimidation, you know. And then they have actions and they have traits. And those are all listed at the bottom of the screen. So the on keg, for example, has an ability called Tunneler. And then they have the acid spray attack and the bite attack that you're used to as a D&D player, that anyone would be used to. If you click on the Oncake's portrait, it brings up their character sheet and it shows their stats, movement speed, max hit points, AC, and if they have any temp HP. Then they have a character tab, an inventory tab, and an appearance tab. Appearance lets you, like, you could swap out the appearance of the Oncake for a different mini or whatever. Inventory, you know, obviously an Oncake doesn't have anything. The character screen, however, has nothing on it. The character tab doesn't have any of the creature's abilities or traits or anything listed, and that goes for all of the minis. So like if you click on the Bugbear, it also doesn't say anything, and the Bugbear doesn't have an inventory. So like all of the information about the mini is in this little bottom left section, but not copied into their character sheet. So that's really weird. And then if you bring in your own D&D Beyond character sheet and you click on it, it will have your stuff listed under character sheet and inventory, but it's all done on a grid map, or like on a grid with square icons that you hover over. And it's just kind of hard to parse. Isaiah, I don't know if you tried loading a character from D&D Beyond in, but you should try that.
I haven't. How does one do that?
So click on a mini that you have. One of the, like, you know, one of the not, well, you could do it on the monsters too, but click on one of the minis.
Okay.
You have to be out of creative mode.
Right.
And then open up their character sheet, and then at the bottom where it says select D&D Beyond character, that'll give you a drop-down menu.
That's fun.
Well, okay, that one didn't work. Try somebody else. They also have to be public on D&D Beyond. But try a different one, maybe. Rune Knight not supported. Try your basic, like, yeah. No, there you go.
There you go. There he is. That's my baby boy.
Now go to the character tab. That's how the abilities are listed out.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Nah, yeah. Don't do that. No.
So visually,
why are they just buttons?
They're like square. Yeah. So for people who can't see, they're like square buttons, and you have to mouse over them to read the like tooltip for them for what they actually are, and it's just kind of kludgy and not super clear. And then the inventory screen is basically the exact same. Although the inventory screen has a couple more icons. Also, things don't equip automatically by default. So you have to like equip armor and shit to make sure it's actually calculating correctly. And it doesn't calculate everything. So like, for example, I made like a level 1 fighter, John McSword. And it wasn't, I gave him the defensive fighting style, and it wasn't calculating his defensive fighting style into his armor class. So certain things are manual and certain things aren't.
I named my character sheet Balls.
Nice. And it also doesn't seem to calculate weight. It doesn't say what weight your character is currently carrying anywhere. So that's fun. And at one point the item picker searcher wasn't working, but it seems to have been fixed now.
As a slight personal gripe, did you notice that there's no spell book? All you have are fucking wands and staffs.
I didn't, but nice.
Like you have the Chad staff versus the Wojak wand.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of calculating some of the math for you, let me just say, in case anyone's curious, would this be a good tool to teach a new player how to play D&D? No.
Probably not. Yeah.
No. No, because it basically it obfuscates too many things. Like, it hides the math and it obfuscates a lot of shit to the point where the program is doing so many things for you that if a new player was trying to learn D&D, they wouldn't really learn anything because they would only know how to play D&D in Sigil is basically what would happen, because it's doing so many things for them because the program is more focused on streamlining functionality rather than being like a teaching tool. So no, don't use it as a teaching tool. And yeah, I really wish the like character sheet tab just looked closer to the actual 5e character sheet, like the physical one. You know?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, I just had an interesting revelation.
Uh-huh.
You know what that is?
Is this important right now?
No, but it's the Equa, the fucking sword spear. That's wild that that's there. It's not in anything ever. Cool.
Yes, I know. Stay focused, Isaiah.
I'm trying really hard.
He's getting so distracted.
I definitely shouldn't be streaming. You're just watching me fuck around at this point. Probably.
So yeah, the character sheet tab, that's weird. Also in relation to, so to explain what I mean to, so the bug, like a bugbear, for example, they like I said, they have all their abilities at the bottom. So a bugbear has a trait in 5e24 called abduct, which is the bugbear doesn't need to spend extra movement to move a creature it's grappling. That trait is listed at the bottom of the screen when you click on the bugbear mini, but again, not listed on their character sheet. Just weird little shit. This is what I mean, where this program has a lot of like little things that are in weird, like set up weird, but given a little bit of time, they could very easily fix. You know, if they didn't all get fired.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another odd thing I just noticed, a lot of these poses are like right from Hero Forge. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're just
weird. They're like
heroic poses.
No, but like they are exact replicas of the Hero Forge poses.
They may be getting them from the same. They may be buying the same assets or something.
Potentially, yeah. That's weird.
That being said, in terms of speaking of functionality stuff, I will say, if you're just a player and you're just, you know, clicking around and having fun, it does do some pretty cool shit. So, like, for example, Isaiah, you should try this out with the Onkeg. If you use the Onkeg's acid spray, so you click the ability, and it gives you like a little aiming AoE attack, like you're playing League of Legends or some shit.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And then you click where you want to like fire it, and it plays a little animation, and it does the roll and does all the damage math for you for everyone that was in that attack. You can make it so it doesn't automate the attack if you don't want to for some reason. But if you leave on automate action, it like does all that math for you. So you click, you hit confirm, and then the Onkeg launches the acid spray, and then it makes a saving roll for whoever's in it, and it calculates the damage automatically for whoever got hit. So it does have some pretty fun shit like that. And now my program has bugged out, and the Onkeg is not. Oh god, I have now bugged out. Oh god, oh lord. All right, well the Onkeg's all fucked up. Well, when it's working. And a similar thing, if you go and try to make a attack roll against something, again, you click the little attack ability. It shows you a little AoE ring of who's nearby to be hit that you can hit. Click on your target. It makes the attack roll, checks against AC, does the damage. There's also a nice little like if you attack with like a sword, for example, the minis aren't animated, but you know, it does a little like the mini wiggles, and it shows like a little slashing visual effect. And the damage dice shoot out of the character model. So like the character like moves and the damage dice pop out of it. So there's like, again, when it's all like working as intended, there's some fun little stuff to it. if you like try and, I don't know, as a like try to do some like a basic attack with something or whatever.
Natural 20.
Yeah. Second Wind has a little animation and a calculation and everything to it.
The dice are having it. Oh God.
Are the dice freaking out for you too?
Yeah, they're freaking the fuck out. Okay, they finally left.
Yeah. I will say, actually, though, I this is really random thought, but rotating minis is really weird because you pick up a mini and you press R to rotate it, but you can't freely rotate. It rotates it like a set 15 degrees or so. Mm-hmm. So you can't get it to face 100% the direction you want. That's not a huge deal. It's just weird that it works that way. Yeah. But yeah, so like that sort of functionality, like the attack animations and stuff, those are fun. Those are the kind of things I would want from something like this, But again, the problem is there's so much. This is the intrinsic problem you run into, like cool shit like the acid keg, the acid keg? What? The on keg's acid spit animation. That's cool and fun. But think about how many monsters there are in D&D.
A lot.
And how, it would take so long to get, like, and now granted, you don't necessarily have to do a unique animation for every single creature, but to make a bunch of cool animations like that, it would take so long. And that's what I mean, where there's cool ideas and like it's a good premise and you're starting out there, but it needs time in the oven to really reach its full potential. And it seemed like they wanted to rush it out or something. I don't know. No one knows. No one knows what WotC upper management is thinking these days. Honestly, not even themselves, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say no one knows what they're doing, and they don't know what the fuck Hasbro's doing. So,
yeah. Yeah. What else? Is there anything other things? Oh, that being said, so you may have noticed, Isaiah, and someone may be thinking, like how many minis are there in the game? Not a ton.
About 30.
Yeah. Now, granted, again, this is we're both on the free subscription, so again, you'd have more. If you go to the tokens page, however, basically anything that doesn't have a mini, they just took the flat art from D&D, like the actual monster manual art or whatever, and they put it on a flat, like it's still a 3D asset because it's a 3D engine, but they put it on like a flat token asset. So just because a monster doesn't have a mini doesn't mean you can't use them. You can still use them. You just have to use the token asset. And obviously, the token isn't necessarily going to have fun animations like acid spit and stuff like that because, it's just a token. But they will still function. So if you were curious about how that works, that is how that works. I wonder, I just dropped a Baylor in. I'm trying to see if I can. Immunities, resistances, legendary magic, fire, death throw. Doesn't the Baylor have fireball or whatever? Or okay.
Yes, it has. Actually, that's a good point. How do you access spells?
If it will be on that bottom of the screen if the creature has spells. Or at least it should be on the bottom of the screen if the creature has spells.
Yeah, there the spells are. Okay.
Yeah. That being said, not everything works. So for example, I just tried to use the Baylor's lightning blade thingy. It doesn't work. It doesn't, and by doesn't work, I mean it's not automated in the way that the on-keg's like acid spit is automated. So yeah, again, just reinforcing not everything is 100% ready to go, but they pushed it out again, presumably so they could then further work on it, yada, yada, yada. Just further reinforcing the point.
I
I think that's where my notes end. Yeah, that is where my notes end. So, I mean, any thoughts on your end?
Any
additional thoughts? Hello?
Nothing good. No, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm contemplating. Nothing good.
Okay. Yeah.
We've sort of talked about all the stuff I was excited about, and I was excited about this up until 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And it's all been replaced with rage.
I even made a little list of like functionality that should get added: resizing assets, undo function, proper dynamic lighting, a more precise control gizmo for things like rotating assets. The ability to roll individual initiative. So if you look at the top of the screen, there's a little encounter mode button. If you hit that, it will automatically roll everyone's initiative in one shot. The option to roll initiatives individually would be nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, for things that I want to see that almost certainly will not happen for the map maker in me is they have an auto leveling system. It doesn't really work the way you think it does. It only does things according to floor height. But if you want to put sconces on the walls, for example, that's all freehand stuff, and it can look a little fucked up.
Yes.
If you want to try to auto level it, it sets it to a specific orientation and cannot be changed once it's set that way. So that needs a fix.
Yeah.
The props are cool. They're fun, but a little limited, and you have a lot of repeat stuff.
Well, again, some of that limitation is having the free version.
No, I know, but even in the free stuff, so like there are two there. Yeah, so there's 2 chairs. That's fine. 1 bench. That's fine. 3 tables of similar sizes, like the rectangular tables. 1 circular table. There's a mattress, a bed frame. There's a mattress, a bed with mattress, a bed frame without mattress, a cot, and a big bed. I would have preferred like maybe rugs or more chairs. Just these are personal gripes with it's like having a bunch of variation of one thing is cool, but I'd rather have more variety of smaller stuff.
But that is again one of those things where, given more time, you could add a lot of that, and it wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
I will say though, I don't know if you put down any doors. One thing that is kind of cool, or at least I thought was kind of cool. If you put down a door and click on it, certain assets have variations of them that you could cycle through. So if you put down a door, you could do no door, closed door, door open in, door open out, or broken door. I thought that was kind of fun.
That is cool as fuck. I like that a lot, especially if your character's like, I kicked the door in, you can literally go, all right, cool, hold on. And then
make it a broken door. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. That's what I mean. There's a lot of like little touches where I'm like, you guys were your heads were in the right place. You're thinking on the right track. You just needed more time in the oven. And then Wizards lit the oven on fire, threw the oven out the window, kicked the oven down the road, and then ran the oven over with a dump truck. Or something like that. So, yeah. I don't know.
It just.
I don't know how to close it out now, because originally my plan was to close it out and be like, here's what I hope we get, or here's what they could do, or blah blah blah. But now it feels like I'm wasting my breath if I start saying any of that.
No, I got you. Here's a perfect send off.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Wizards, and fuck you, Hasbro.
Yeah. But
I wish we didn't have to end on that negative note. I really don't. But
well, I guess one thing I could say is if someone you're listening and you're interested in Sigil VTT, then maybe just download it and try it and give like maybe the move is to pretend like it's not dead and start giving them feedback and responding and stuff like that So maybe they see that and consider like, oh, maybe we should put more effort into this and more dev time into it, you know?
That is unironically the right move. If you show them you're willing to spend money, right? Because this is the protest with your wallet. If you show them, hey, we want this, they'll do something with it, very likely. You know, Hasbro likes to throw money out the window, but they're not Warner Bros. So, you know.
That being said, it's a little weird because if you already have a D&D subscription, there's no way for you to put any extra money towards Sigil itself. But I'm sure they have user data, so you can use it. Like, I'm sure they have data tracking how many hours, you know, people utilize it or whatever. So if you download it and use it a whole bunch, like for a campaign, presumably they're going to get that information and go, oh, people are actually using it, you know?
Is that the wave? Is the wave to just open the program, not do anything, and just let it sit idle for a couple hours?
I guess it depends on how advanced their stat tracking data is.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like if it's just based on playtime, then you could do that. But if they have advanced enough shit that they could like detect if you're actually using it or not, then no. But I don't know. But yeah. Maybe just use it. Maybe that's the move, is just player. I mean, listen, it's free to use, and granted, you are limited, but you could definitely run a campaign in it for sure. You could just use it mostly like Roll20, where you just use the flat images and the flat tokens and shit, which obviously is not the main point, but you could still use it that way. And it does, even if you're using just the flat images and flat tokens, it's still aesthetically pretty good. So for that purpose, but yeah, maybe that's what you do. Maybe just show Wizards you give a shit and join there's also a Discord page for Sigil. So I don't know, maybe jump in the Discords and be like, Wizards, please don't do it. Don't kill it. I beg of you. You know, something like that. But that's yeah, that's what I got to say on it. Cool potential that may end up being cut short, unfortunately. Sir. Yes, sir. Time to hang up the phone, man.